The sky is full of them. They affect every facet of our lives. They look down on us, working quietly as global messengers. We can't get away from them, and why would we want to? Take away even a few of them, and our lives would drastically change. How did we ever live without them? As late as the 1940s, satellite communications were thought to be science fiction. As far-fetched as, well, a man on the moon. The satellite seed was planted in 1945 by Arthur C. Clarke of the Royal Air Force. He suggested a method that could provide continuous global communications using extraterrestrial relays. His remarkable proposal, which so closely parallels today's SATCOM systems, was scarcely noticed. Discouraged, Clarke focused his energies into science fiction writing. Clarke's vision of a constellation of satellites did spark serious U.S. military interest. For the Signal Corps, World War II had yielded important lessons. Survivability depended on efficient worldwide communications. The U.S. Army took the lead at the Evans Signal Laboratory near Fort Monmouth, New Jersey. Signal Corps scientists devised an experiment to bounce radar impulses off the moon, codenamed Project Diana, for the goddess of the moon. The signals were transmitted and the lunar echoes were received in exactly 2.5 seconds. Global communication was born. That discovery opened the possibility of space exploration, which previously had been seen only in B-movies and comic books. Just as Hiroshima gave rise to the nuclear age in 1945, Project Diana opened the space age. After Germany was defeated in World War II, leading German rocket scientists surrendered to the U.S. Army. Relocated to the United States, they brought invaluable expertise and a vision of the future. They were led by Dr. Wernher von Braun. Working for the U.S. Army, von Braun and his team made the best of their newfound freedom. They continued the scientific work which had begun in Germany and developed a plan for an Army rocket to carry the first U.S. satellite into space. It was called Project Orbiter. These men weren't alone in their quest to put the first satellite in orbit.
On behalf of President Eisenhower, I am now announcing that the President has approved plans by this country for going ahead with the launching of small Earth-circling satellites as part of the United States' participation in the International Geophysical Year. The President has expressed personal gratification that the American program will provide scientists of all nations this important and unique opportunity for the advancement of science.
James Hagerty, Presidential Press Secretary, 28 July 1955. Competing with Navy and Air Force proposals, Orbiter looked too military. Congressmen were afraid it might scare the Russians into a retaliatory strike. Wanting a more civilian look, the Navy's Vanguard rocket was chosen as the carrier for the satellite's maiden voyage. The beeps that shocked the nation occurred in October of 1957 and belonged to Sputnik, the first Soviet satellite. The American public reacted with alarm. The Russians had taken control of space. What would stop them from launching a long-range missile right into America's heartland? Controlled panic? Not quite, but the space race was definitely underway. While the Americans were pointing fingers at this insult to American technological superiority, the Soviets launched another satellite, Sputnik 2. This time, the Russians added a K9 passenger to the satellite manifest. Now in the U.S., we not only pushed the panic button, we slammed it repeatedly. The media screamed with the news that the communists had taken control of the universe. President Eisenhower accelerated the Vanguard program. Get a satellite into space and get it there quick. On December 6, 1957, the world watched and the U.S. held its collective breath as the countdown finally reached zero. 2 seconds after ignition, Vanguard rose 4 feet off the pad and promptly exploded. One observer remarked, it was as if the gates of hell had opened up. The U.S. had been humiliated again. Proclaimed as Kaputnik and Flopnik, the insults flew. The Vanguard program was devastated. In desperation, the administration turned to the Army and Dr. von Braun. Now no one cared what the rocket looked like. The Army was given the green light to prepare and launch a satellite, and we were ready. After just 118 days of working around the clock, Signal Corps scientists stood beside von Braun and his team as Explorer 1 lifted off the pad at Cape Canaveral and gracefully slipped through the atmosphere. In addition to salvaging the nation's pride, Explorer 1 was loaded with sophisticated electronics equipment developed by the Signal Corps. Data gathered by Explorer 1 led to the discovery of the Van Allen radiation belts encircling the Earth. 3 months later, Vanguard was launched carrying solar cells developed by Signal Corps scientists. Designed to help meet the sustained power requirements of space travel, the cells were supremely successful. The Explorer transmitted information for over 6 years. The final contribution of the Signal Corps to the early space age was SCORE. It was the first satellite to relay the human voice through space. And the voice? Dwight David Eisenhower.
This is the President of the United States speaking. Through the marvels of scientific advance, my voice is coming to you from a satellite circling in outer space. My message is a simple one. Through this unique means, I convey to you and to all mankind America's wish for peace on earth and goodwill toward men everywhere.
The early pioneering efforts of the Army and the Signal Corps in SATCOM literally changed the way we live and work today. Satellites expand our gaze, our perceptions, our intelligence. Using SATCOM shrinks our world by using the technology first envisioned by the Signal Corps. For today's Army, satellites give us information, and information is power. The UHF follow-on constellation provides narrowband tactical communications for mobile forces. The Defense Satellite Communications System, DISCUS, provides wideband high-volume traffic between fixed sites, and MilStar provides highly survivable communications to fixed and mobile users. Commercial satellites are used to augment these existing military satellite communications capabilities. And there's more, much more. We no longer have to guess our adversary's next move. We can see it as it happens. With embedded tracking devices and GPS, missing soldiers can be quickly located and rescued. We can even tell where our supplies and equipment are in the logistics chain. The journey for Army SATCOM is loaded with possibilities. On future battlefields, commanders will be able to achieve real-time situational awareness. They can know where their soldiers are and the intentions of the enemy. Satellites will quickly connect frontline soldiers in harm's way with decision-makers in the Pentagon. There are uses for everyone. We can see and appreciate world events as they happen. There's time to react, time to respond. With SATCOM, we are now global citizens. And that is a scientific fact, not science fiction. It is important to look to the future. It is just as important to remember and record the events which will get us there. From semaphores to satellites, the Army and the Signal Corps, paving the way toward new horizons in communications.